Give me one sec. Yeah, you can see my whole entire body, like in the reflection of the TV. Oh my god, if we get a Persona 4 revival trailer soon or something, I'm going to scream, cry, shit, piss, and throw up. Alrighty then. Wait, let me check if the stream is doing okay. Yeah, it is. Okay. Good morning, good morning. I am doing Ace Attorney once again. A little excited to be back because I feel like we're getting closer to the trial. Last we left off, we were just kind of interrogating where Soseki was like living at, and it looks like this maid and this guy in this wheelchair who might not even be like maid in person, like living here. It might just be like she's covering as a maid to like hide her identity, because she might, like, they might have more involvement with this crime than they're letting on. But we're going to see. We're gonna dive right back into it. Hopefully we get some more answers. Oh yeah, we're in the middle. Your Reading Wing gives us a handsome clue as to the beast's current whereabouts. Ah, indeed it does. That flowery band gleaming on your finger gives you away. For it is identical to the one shown on the hand of Mr. Garadev's bride in its photographic print. Of course you would text me right now. In other words, you are no ordinary household maid. No. You are Mr. Garadev's lucky bride. You are Mrs. Garadev herself. Oh my word! Oh wait, I forgot the voice that I was doing for her. I was like, oh my word! Well, jolly fine detecting, sir. As you rightly surmise, this is the wife, yes, my Joan. Rather let herself go, you might say, but she is about— oh! Why would you say that? Now, you deserve that one. It would appear that you don't live in the most comfortable of circumstances. After all, you are a retired army man, yet you are in the business of renting out rooms. I would assume, therefore, you have insufficient means to employ a maid. Would that be correct? It's not right, I tell you. I was 2nd Lieutenant of 3rd Regiment. A man has his pride, don't you know? By golly, it's a sorry thing when a chap can't even afford to have a single maid in his employ. Yes, here in London, one is rather judged. I household cannot be considered worthy of society if it employs no... Though, in my considered opinion, such concerns about appearances are folly. You mean Mr. Garrideb has his wife work as his maid? Precisely. Am I right, Mr. Garrideb? Only in company, obviously. But listen here. This must remain a secret. Tip-top secret, please. This might come up in court. I'm sorry. Now, Mr. Garrideb. It is plainly clear that you still have deep feelings for this formidable beast. Indeed, in that blithe pose, the distress this loss has caused you veritable tangle? Jesus, I can't fucking read already. Your head weighs heavy on your shoulders, the pain you feel being revealed by that supporting arm. More like the scar on the other side of his face that I remember seeing. Yes, as a woman that feels rather uncomfortable. But Mrs. Garrideb is standing beside her husband as we speak. In other words, he hasn't lost his beloved at all, has he? Oh, how true. So perhaps that supporting arm that seems to be propped up by his head has some other significance then. According to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Garrideb's pain is tangible, though. What could that pose possibly signify? The scar on his face. Oh, that's a slap mark. Look at that bright red mark. Gosh, that's quite something, and clearly made by somebody's hand. Yes, Mr. Garrideb has been slapped in the face, it seems. Hard. I've never seen such a clearly defined mark. Whoever could have done such a thing? Well, there's a very limited number of candidates, I'd say.
Take that!
Filled by that slapped cheek. Your head weighs heavy on your shoulders, the pain you feel being revealed by that slapped cheek. And of course, the deliverer of that impressive mark on your cheek that refuses to fade was you, Madame Joan Garrideb. Well, yes. You have been desperate to hide that slap mark on your cheek, sir. I ain't about fell out the damn chair. How the blazes. How did you work that out, man? Nothing escapes the notice of one trained in the arts of observation, my dear fellow. That's why you haven't looked directly at us even once, until now, to keep your other side from view. Well, Now, let us proceed to the next conundrum. Why were you subjected to such a violent slap? In other words, we must ask ourselves what caused this Madame Garrideb to fly into a rage. She's looking at that thing draped over the cannon over there, I think. And we need only follow the direction of your gaze to find the answer. Yes, it is the pile of bills that has given rise to the pain you suffer. Didn't Mr. Sholmes say that the bills were all for lion fodder? Yes, but now we've established that the lion never existed. Which can only mean that the thing responsible for gobbling up all that food was Mr. Garrideb's wife. Mr. Notaro, she's a person, not a thing. Yes, well, she's also a person who gave her husband a mighty slap round on the face. One so hard that it left a perfect hand mark, in fact. Yes, that's why why would a woman want to hit her husband with such force, I wonder? I'd like to know the answer to that question. I think it's... Oh! Someone must be reading this book at the moment. There's a bookmark here, look. Mr. Garrideb is clearly an avid reader. Oh, wait a minute. Girl, do you see that kiss mark? I don't think this is a bookmark. Oh, no, it isn't. It's a note written in a woman's hand. Oh, James, I love you. Yours, Mary. Oh. And look next to the signature there. Lip marks with lipstick? Oh, what a passionate and romantic gesture. Don't get any ideas, Susato-san. Oh dear, I'm sorry. So, this bookmark is actually a love note then.
Take that!
Yes, it is this love note that has given rise to the pain you suffer. Oh, James, I love you. Yours, Mary. Passionate indeed. Perhaps the sender of this note, a certain Miss Mary, is the fly in the ointment here. Oh! I knew she was gonna do it again. God, but I don't know the bully woman. You don't know her? The note wasn't written to me. It was just in the book. I don't know how it got there. It was just in there, you say? That's right. That's what I've been saying. Ah! A likely story. Now listen here, Joe, an old thing. I explained at the time. I bought the book at the second-hand place, and that note must have already been in there. So the previous owner of the book was using the note as a bookmark, you mean? That's right. That's what I've been saying. Ah! A likely story. For heaven's sake, woman, look at the name. It's written to James. My name, in case you'd forgotten, is John. Ah! A likely story. Are you questioning my name now? Ah, damn. And there we have it. Arouse the suspicion of the female heart, and you unleash a beast with the most ferocious bite. Now, in a final fit of rage, the ferocious beast carried out one last unimaginable attack. Unimaginable? The aftermath of which you could clearly see... which could clearly be seen by observing the carpet over there. A very expensive wooden carpet, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, dearie me. What could have caused such a destructive outburst? Oh. This time, madam, I'm afraid it is you who has inadvertently revealed the truth to me. Your wandering eye has settled upon the answer very neatly indeed. Yes, to explain the dire state of the carpet, we only look at the Tower of Cakes. Girl... But surely Mrs. Garrideb didn't eat the carpet? No, of course not. But there doesn't seem to be any doubt that the state of disarray that this room is in, it was a result of her wild temper. No, that's true. So this is the last part of Mr. Sholmes' deductions that we need to fix. We need only follow Miss Garrideb's gaze, and that can tell us the answer. Alright, let's see what we can see. Girl, it's the candle on the ground. The carpet there has been ripped to shreds, more like burnt. Don't you see that candle on the ground? Yes, and according to Mr. Sholmes' deduction, the tears must match those by Idiolite's teeth exactly. Oh, look here. What is it? If you look closely at the edge, you can see a scorch made. Oh, yes, you can. In that case, perhaps the carpet wasn't eaten in the normal sense at all. Let's rethink what this has with that in mind. The candle. Was my marker not on the candle? Look here, look closely at the edge. Let's rethink. Oh, I have to go to the actual candlestick. I didn't even see that. This is a very old candlestick, doesn't it? The base looks too small. Surely it's unstable. It looks to me like even the slightest knock would make it topple over. Oh dear, that would be dangerous. Wait, take a closer look at this. There's one candle missing. Yes, I didn't notice that before. Why is that, I wonder? Why is one candle of the three missing from its holder? Because it's on the ground. It's on the ground. Please. Oh my god, guys. Guys. Guys.
Take that!
Okay, I guess... Whatever. Yes, to explain the dire state of the carpet, we need only look at the candlestick. Most illuminating, my dear fellow, and of course, the only possible way out of this logical labyrinth. Yes, the remnants of a ferocious attack in which the carpet was devoured are clearly visible. Indeed, they are. The scorch marks at the edge clearly give the truth away. Scorch marks. It would appear that this room was the scene of a little marital altercation. Oh. Mrs. Gyarados' mighty arm muscles left an impression not only on her husband's face, but on the entire room. The force of her strike caused the candle to fall from the holder. And in seconds, the carpet was alight, and the whole corner of the room in flames. Yes, for the most ferocious beast in the world is neither a violent lion nor a vengeful woman, but fire. And in this room, that ferocious beast bared his claws and ran amok. Eloquently put, my dear fellow. So you see, there is but one conclusion here. After the sparks of the marital discord flew, this room was the scene of a fire. Mr. Sholmes, sir, I salute you. Oh, catch him. Okay. I was about to say, I'm like, I know you mad at him, but don't let him fuck around and hurt himself. It's these dashed long winter nights, you know. Nothing to do but read in front of the fire. Luckily, there's a jolly good secondhand bookshop just around the corner. Buy all my old novels there. And in the past pages of one particular novel, you discovered some rather illicit material. For which your wife admonished you harshly, it seems. Don't know about admonish. Demolish might be rather closer to the mark. And the beast is most certainly an Here we go again. And the carpet, was that destroyed by the fire when the candle fell on the floor? Afraid to say it was. Happened in the blink of an eye, you know. The whole place was filled with smoke. Couldn't see a bally thing. I was caught between the old stick's rage and the raging flames. You paint a torrid picture, sir. One that would have been most entertaining. That's sympathy for you. Didn't take long for the fire to spread, of course. The bally furniture started going up as well. We've had to hide the mess behind that screen for the time being. Over there. Over here, Miss Gyarados? I keep seeing a T for some reason. Well, you would have nothing more to hide now if you allow me. Oof. Had all my favorite old novels in that case, but as soon as the fire got a hold of them, that was it. Whoosh, up in smoke. Gosh. Then the wife started hurling things at me. What a terrible sight it must have been. There was I, back up against the window under heavy enemy fire. Incendiary books incoming 10 to dozen. Worst of it is, I lost my favorite book called The Lion's Pride. The Lion's Pride? Oh yes, your notorious love for big cats coming through again. I assure you, the title didn't influence my choices in the slightest. So the poor man really did lose something dear to him as a result of the ferocious beast rampage. Mr. Sholmes' deductions turned out to be correct once again. It can only be described as a great British wonder. I tell you, it was total carnage. Flames everywhere and the old stick in full fettle. Out of interest, what time of day was that? I'm not sure I can remember. It was 2 days ago now. Let's see. Around 5 o'clock, I think. So, at exactly the same time, as a terrifying incident was unfolding outside your window on the street below. Even more terrifying on the inside, I can assure you. The whole of Blighty could have been flattened outside my window at that moment, and I wouldn't have noticed a dash of thing. Oh, really? Mr. Sholmes? Yes, Mr. Naruto? What can I do for you? Well, I think we've got to the bottom of Mr. Gyarados' situation now. But what does it have to do with Mr. Natsume's circumstances? I can't help you there, I'm afraid. What? My dear fellow, if you recall, I did say as much from the outset. I warned you that, although I knew the retired army man to be hiding something, I could not be sure whether his secret would prove to be of relevance or not. I just knew you were going to say that. Now, Mr. Hanahodo, you mustn't lose heart. Bear in mind that all things fall into one of only two categories, those relevant to the case and those not. That makes no sense to me. Well, no matter. It is of far greater importance that you make up your mind now. Sorry. Visiting hours at the prison will soon be over. Oh no, is it that time already? If we're to accept Mr. Natsume's case, we have official paperwork to attend to. So that's it. No more time to think. Perhaps you'd like to betake yourselves to bidding us farewell now. I must prepare supper for Mr. Gyarados. Oh yes. I'm so sorry. Thank you both very much for your time. Soseki-san will be waiting for us. I'm going to have to give him an answer. Damn. Hey. We're gonna have to tell this motherfucker that we don't know shit about what we can defend him with. We're still gonna defend him, of course, but... It's time, Mr. Naruhodo. We must hurry back to the prison. Yes, I know. Let's call it care. Oh. What's the matter? Looks like something's going on over there in front of the Gyarados house. Who the fuck is this? I know thee not, old man. Fall to thy prayers. Who you calling old man, you run-looking niminy-piminy? Did you just call him an F-word? There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio. What the fuck? Than are dreamt of in your philosophy. Who's this Horatio fellow, eh? What are you on about? This nigga's shit. Oh. This motherfucker's shit. Excuse me. What the? Who are you now? I'm sorry. It just looked as though there might be some problem here. And my associate here, Mr. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, is a lawyer, you see. A lawyer? What? If I can be of any assistance, I'd be happy to help. I'm from Japan, but I've studied English law. Fine. I'll be on my way for today. But mark my words. Hey, what's up? This ain't over yet. Whoa.
Get thee to a nunnery.
Do I look like a bloomin' nun to you? Why does he look like that?
I do hope you're not injured.
Oh, fair Eastern maiden, thou art so gentle, thank you. What was that all about?
There are more things in heaven and earth,
whatever, and I drift in your philosophy. I'm not Horatio? I think that's Horatio. I'm not Horatio either.
Forgive the inquiry, sir, but are you a lodger here in the Garrett residence?
Oh, fair Eastern maiden, thou art so right. Yes, I do dwell in this humble abode. Mr. Garrett mentioned that he had another lodger, didn't he? This must be the man. Do you happen to know the other lodger who lives on the first floor?
Oh, yes, a gentleman named Natsume.
Oh, more worthy, polemist in my battle of words, ne'er could there be. Sorry, battle, did you say?
Who is the stronger, Hamlet or Macbeth? Mr. Natsume and I sparred long into the night.
I see. The fuck are you saying to me?
I don't fully understand, but it seems Mr. Natsume and this gentleman are acquaintances at least. So, fair maiden, so good gentleman. I can tarry here no longer. Fare thee well.
I'll probably see you in court later.
I didn't really understand him, but I think he's returned to his room.
It seems he's unaware of what's happened to Mr. Natsume, so he can't really help us. I doubt that that's the case. If he said that he... Hold on. Who is the... Bro, look like the more powder person from... I remember, yes. Bro, when I was, I hate to, like, just drop this lore real quick, but there's only 3 people watching, and I highly doubt anybody's gonna rewatch the VOD. But when I was in the psych ward, I saw Flapjack. Flapjack was on, and it was, like, such a throwback. Like, oh my god, I miss Flapjack so much. Who is the stronger, Hamlet or Macbeth? Mr. Natsume and I sparred long into the night. He might be key to, like, absolving him. Because I feel like he's saying that him and Natsume were, like, around each other. That, or I guess if they're both writers or something, because Natsume said that he was a poet and he writes haiku. This person, I guess, he also kind of speaks in, like, a riddle sense, or like a, yeah, more worthy polemist in my battle of words, ne'er could there be. Yeah, I think he's saying that, like, Natsume is a very good writer, so he's, like, in competition with him, but might have known about his whereabouts at the very least. Anyway, I'll go and find a carriage.
Yes, I'm sure Mr. Natsume is eagerly awaiting our return.
Let's hope we can get to the prison before visiting hours are over. And then the trial's the next fucking day. Soseki.
Oh, it's you. You're here. You came. Locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. I can't believe you came back. I'm so touched. We are so sorry to have kept you waiting, Mr. Natsume. Oh no, think nothing of it. Relax. If I were a cat, I would purr with pleasure at the company of such fine compatriots. Noble, nurturing, never-failing Nipponese. Oh, now, let's not get carried away. Oh, I quite agree. There is nothing more reassuring than the familiarity of one's native land. On the other hand, it is through friendship transcending international borders that one truly appreciates the fact. Such is my belief, at least. Oh, yes, it's, you. It's you. The miserable rotten spy, Erlock Sholmes. Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing here? I have no intention of doing anything per se, save observing, of course. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? Well, having encountered some curious reading material in that gloomful room, and having unmasked the secret identity of that eccentric pair, I decided I should drop in on my way home to see how our divested friend is faring. Gloomful room? At least your accommodation here offers a window, my dear fellow. In that sense, it is the superior option. Anyway, I must commend you on your taste in books. My day has been a delight, and cost me not a penny. You... How dare you, Erlock Sholmes! I've had it. I'm through. I'm at the end of my rope. I should have never come to Great Britain. It was a terrible mistake. Haunted by spirits in those accursed lodgings. No doubt my luck will be cursed in tomorrow's trials as well. My whole life has been damned. What are you thinking, Mr. Naruto? You mentioned that once before, didn't you? That his lodgings were cursed, I mean. And there is much truth in Mr. Mustache's words. What? Cursed is a wholly appropriate description, I would say. For the man's lodgings, and indeed for tomorrow's trial. What's that supposed to mean? When you said a curse at lodgings before, you were referring to your room at Mr. Garradeb's house, I presume. Do you mean to say that you believe the place is cursed? It's been a year now since I came to Great Britain. But I'd only been in London for a week before I started to notice strange feelings in myself. That didn't take long then. Everywhere I looked, there were foreign faces staring at me, laughing behind my back. I was sure people were talking about me. I started to become nervous about going outside. They were always staring at me all the time, from dawn till dusk. So I shut myself away in my room. But even that didn't help. The fear wouldn't go away. You must have been very lonely, having been away from your homeland for such a long time. I've had to move a number of times, most recently to that room on Briar Road a week ago now. Yes, why did you choose there? It seems a little inconvenient. The rent is cheap. I have so little money, it appealed to me straight away. Of course, I asked why it was so affordable. The landlord just simpered and I said, "The room is cursed." Oops. He quickly tried to cover his mistake, but it was too late, so I told him. If you have something to say, then say it, but if not, don't mention it in the first place. Yes, well said. But it was true. It was all true. You mean the room is really cursed, then? Ever since I moved into that windowless hellhole. My sleep has been plagued with nightmares. I awake feeling as though I'm being choked to death. In my waking hours, people are stabbed in front of me as I walk down the street. I'm branded a killer, thrown into prison. Nobody wants to know me. I'm surrounded by scary, sinister spirits. If only there was someone, just one person on my side. Can no one find it in his or her heart to believe in me? Really no one at all.
To believe, yes. To believe. Mr. Natsumi, what did you mean by what you said just now? About the trial tomorrow being cursed?
Oh no, why are you looking so grave? You're making me nervous. I was just getting carried away, that's all. I didn't mean anything by it.
Oh, I see. That's really agitated him.
You don't mean the trial really is cursed somehow?
Are you referring to the prosecutor, the Reaper of the Bailey?
The Reaper? Oh no, what do you mean? Please tell me, summarize it succinctly in 16 salient words.
No defendant has ever survived a trial in which the Reaper stands for the prosecution. Ever. Why would you tell him that?
Oh my goodness, can it really be true? That was 16 words exactly.
Yesterday, Mr. Naruhodo successfully defended someone against the Reaper, but then, after the trial was over, the defendant passed away in unusual circumstances. Mr. McGilded.
What?
I am impressed, Mr. Sato. You have an eye for detail. Actually, the Lord Chief Justice just told us. Mr. Sholmes, surely it can't be that, having failed to have accused the convicted, Lord Van Zieks killed the man himself?
Oh no, he couldn't have, surely.
You have some wonderful notions. Sorry? The man isn't a mass murderer. He's a court prosecutor, my dear fellow.
Oh, yes. Why, of course he is.
Of course he is. Then why are you trying to scare me? It could be said, however, that the real truth about the man is even more terrifying than your hypothesis. What on earth do you mean by that? Van Zieks is quite an exceptional man. However, in London courts of law, exceptional does not equate to winning every case without exception.
Oh, that's good.
Soseki-san looks like he's going to cry tears of joy. As you are no doubt aware, in a British criminal trial, there is both judge and a jury. The judge officiates based on the letter of the law, whilst the jury offers public opinion and common sense. It is an excellent system whereby the defendant's guilt is considered from several points of view. However, public opinion in particular is somewhat easily manipulated. Right. Criminals and corrupt lawyers, for that matter, can use it to their advantage. By any means in their disposal, contriving evidence, calling imposters as witnesses, and so on. By such an underhand means, those who will want to are able to sway the jury. Which means that even in the light of irrefutable evidence, the prosecution can fail. But it means the wrong verdict can be passed. And sadly, is from time to time, my dear madam. It is simply the reality of the situation. And that's all right. However, those indicted by Lord Van Zieks cannot escape justice. Their fate is sealed.
Oh my.
Though the adjudication may see them leave the courtroom with their freedom, within months they all disappear. It is most striking.
Disappear? But how?
By all manner of misfortune, sir. Perhaps they are trampled under a passing carriage. Perhaps they fall into the Thames and drown. Perhaps they are suddenly overcome by a raging fever. Or perhaps attacked by highwaymen.
Oh, no.
All examples of the reality of events here in London, I'm afraid, Mr. Naruhodo. Those are all just coincidences, though. I knew it. I'm a dead dodo, done for, doomed! Mr. Sholmes. Ah, me, Mr. Naruhodo. Pray, what can I do for you? It's about the case on the SS Buria, if you recall. The Buria. Ah, that case. The one with the snake? Well, yes. At that time, I was the suspect, but you believed in me and listened to my side of the story. And you helped us. Interesting. What I want to know is why? Why did you believe in me? I see. Yes, you mean... because you were a grimly dressed, shady Eastern fellow found with the victim in a locked room? Well, if you like, yes. I'm a little surprised that the answer requires an explanation, my dear fellow. It's quite simple, really. You said I didn't do it. But I could have been lying. Surely you must have had your doubts. You must have suspected me a little. I think perhaps you have misunderstood. I neither recall believing in you, nor that which you were telling me. What? You see, the only things I believe in are those I choose to believe in.
What do you mean, Mr. Sholmes?
I make up my own mind about what is to be believed and what is not. If I should like to believe in something I do, the circumstances can hang as far as I am concerned. But I could have betrayed your trust. In that case, I should have made an elementary error of the judgment, nothing more. Betrayal of trust is an overused excuse in my opinion. Meaning, whether or not one should trust another is, in the final analysis, down to oneself. It is a matter of whether or not one can trust oneself. Yes, he's right! He's right! Welcome, student Mr. Naruhodo, Esquire! Whether or not I can believe in myself. A defense lawyer is only as good as his faith in his client. And that comes down to how much faith he has in himself. You're so right, Kazuma. Well, my dear fellows, it is time we were leaving, I believe. Already? Visiting hours are over. The guard will be here shortly to escort us out. There's a restaurant near here that serves excellent trout. Would you care to join me? Oh dear. There's never enough time, is there? Mr. Natsume, if you'd like, in the trial tomorrow, I'd be happy to represent you. Welcome, student Mr. Naruhodo, Esquire. As I said, I only experienced a British courtroom for the first time yesterday, and although the man I was representing was found not guilty, I lost sight of something crucial. Something crucial. What to believe in. The defendant, justice or the truth. How to believe, even. But I think I finally worked it out. I decided I must believe in myself above all else, to trust my instincts. Yes, Mr. Naruhodo. And my instincts are telling me that you, Mr. Natsume, are innocent of the crime. And it's imperative that we prove that in court. Welcome, student Mr. Naruhodo, Esquire. I will fight for your innocence until the bitter end, with every weapon available to me. So I hope you'll permit me to represent you tomorrow. As I said when we first met, I'd like to entrust my fate to someone who will listen to me in my native tongue. Of course, Mr. Natsume. It would be fair to say, Mr. Naruhodo,
that your mind was in many ways made up from the outset. You merely needed the events of today to fully realize it. Yes, I think you're right about that. It's been a roundabout journey, but I got here in the end. Mr. Sato. Yes? Would you be willing to stand by my side tomorrow and help me in court? Absolutely. As I said this morning, you may consider me your personal judicial assistant. The shocking events of yesterday's trial still weigh heavily on my mind, but it's time to stop looking backwards. Kazuma believed in me, and Mr. Sholmes believes in me now too. So it's time. Time that I learned to believe in myself. Soseki-san has no one, he's all alone. So it's my job to help him, to fight in his corner. Tomorrow, in the courtroom, with all the strength I can muster. Yep, I thought to be continued would show up. Okay. Save your current progress. And we're going to keep it on chugging. But before that, I need to get some water. Be right back. Guys, if I start stimming, don't be too alarmed. I did have to get water though, because I was talking for a minute, and I did surprisingly well without having to chug down anything. Sorry, I'm finna eat these crackers.
Oh my god, we're in the fucking courtroom. Fuck! Bitch, I'm scared. Oh my god. This is like, what, the third trial now? I'm fucking nervous. Like, I'm so nervous. Like, I know this one is probably going to be a little bit difficult. The last one was okay. Like, I got through it. And I guess I do have to remember to, like, examine stuff in order for the text to change about, I know I have to examine stuff in order for the text description to change in order for it to, like, work. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to do that maybe a couple of times. I don't know. I'm just so nervous. I'm just so nervous. Okay, let's get into it. Well, I never expected this. Who'd have thought we'd be back here again so soon?
We are on a study tour of Great Britain with the intention of learning the country's legal practices. In order to research the latest court procedures here, we need as much court experience as possible.
Well, yes, I suppose that's true, but for the person in the dock, it may well be his or her one and only time in court, and it could be life-changing. In which case, treating it as research may seem a little crass.
Oh, when you put it like that, you're quite right.
Good morning. Is that Soseki? Oh, he's been crying so hard. That or he just didn't sleep. I feel like he's been crying, though. Oh, Mr. Natsumi, good morning.
Oh dear, are you alright? Your eyes are terribly bloodshot.
The early bird catches the worm, as they say here in the Britain. Yes, I've heard that expression. But I really don't want to catch a worm. So I tried desperately not to wake up early, but I was so worried I couldn't catch a wink. And now I'm absolutely exhausted as a result. Okay, so he didn't sleep. I thought he was crying. I was about to be so sad. Do all literary people take things so literally?
Thank you for putting your faith in us today, Mr. Natsumi.
Hello, welcome in, anybody. Sorry if I hadn't said it before. I wish I had 9 lives. My whole future hangs in the balance. I'm 2, terrified, 2, tremble. You're trembling now. Really? Because I can feel tremors in the floor. I can't do this. I can't take it. Although, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Yes. I caught a glimpse of the public gallery as I walked by the courtroom. It looked like the opening night of the opera. There were so many people. I had no idea my case was such a notorious affair here in London. Oh, neither did I.
Do you know why that might be, Mr. Sato? I'm sorry, Mr. Naruhodo, but I have no idea.
So that all-knowing look on your face is just a coincidence, then, is it? Don't hide the truth from me. It's because of the Reaper, isn't it? Lord Van Zeeks. Is that right? Oh, is that right, Mr. Sato?
I purchased as many different newspapers as I could find this morning. And yes, Lord Van Zeeks is on the front page of every one.
I knew it.
Sometime after the prosecutor was dubbed the Reaper of the Bailey, he stopped appearing in court, it seems. It's been several years now, in fact, until the day before yesterday.
Yes, Inspector Gregson told us something similar, didn't he? The trial 2 days ago marks Lord Van Zeek's return to the courtroom after a very long hiatus. The trial of Magnus McGilted. What a harrowing experience that was.
I believe that appearance made even greater waves here in the capital than today's.
But we wouldn't have realized, of course, having only just arrived in the country.
Why is the Reaper back in the Bailey so soon? For what appears to be a mundane murder? That's the question the papers are asking, and they are all speculating various answers.
Mundane!
It's the most significant saga of the century to some of us. Oh dear, I meant no offense, Mr. Natsume, but that is how the papers are describing it. Well, lest we also forget the fact that it could spark an international incident. Obviously, the reappearance of this infamous prosecutor has caught people's attention. But there's another blatant similarity with the trial of 2 days ago. Yes, I agree. Welcome, student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. It's you.
Me? Well, I suppose that's true.
Both times it is you who stands against this legendary prosecutor. It can only mean that you're friends with the Reaper.
Please, I don't rub shoulders with Deathbringers.
I'm afraid that there's really only one other explanation. It can only be another example of Mr. Naruhodo of your uncommon bad luck.
Thanks for that.
Oh, this is just my luck. Why must I be represented by a man with such frail fortune? By the least lucky lawyer alive!
Well, let's not forget that it was you, Mr. Natsume, who asked me to represent you. Yes, it's true that I'm just a student, new to London, with little in the way of experience or skills or luck, but I promise you this. I will fight your corner until the bitter end, and I will believe in you, Mr. Natsume.
Oh, benevolent local student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire.
You're not alone here with us, Mr. Natsume. Whatever happens, we will always be on your side.
Oh, benevolent non-local assistant, Miss Miko to my Esquires. I am in your debt forever. I shall never forget this kind. Oh,
Mr. Natsume, counsel for the defense. The court session is about to begin. Kindly make your way to the courtroom at once. Fuck. Alright then, Mr. Natsume. It's time. Let's go.
Yes!
Shit. This is it. My second appearance in a British courtroom, and my second trial against the Reaper. I hope you're watching over me, Kazuma, because this time I won't let my faith waver. I believe in my client to the last, just like you believed in me. I believe I can do this now. I'm ready for this fight. Oh my god, I kind of want to get some more, like, of those crackers. I need to, like, munch on something because of my stress. Oh, there's new bitches. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare the courtroom to be in session. I now call upon the counsels of the prosecution and the defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is fully prepared, my lord. The defense is ready, my lord. The Nipponese are a truly fascinating breed. Sorry, what? Lord Strongheart has told me all about you. That you are a student who arrived in London but 2 days ago, a mere amateur. Do you have a point? Being a compatriot, you feel compelled to try to help the accused, I suppose. Typical Nipponese arrogance.
Forgive me, but I do not believe arrogance is an appropriate description. Susato-san. After all, at our previous encounter, the defendant was found to be innocent.
Very true. And a most fascinating, if dark, trial it was, too. The tragic conclusion came later, of course. Here's to the acquitted in his unfortunate, violent end. Thank you, counsels. I see both sides are in fine fettle. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, are you ready to carry out your duties here in court as impartial members of the public? You never know when you might be down on your luck, but I believe in a fair play for everyone.
Well, I must warn you, I'm rather more ruthless than I appear.
Oh well, not me. What you see is what you get. I'm a peace-loving fellow. I'm afraid to say I think this is quite possible that mustache foreigner did the deed. Whoa, who the fuck is that? Come on, what are we waiting for? No doubt he did it anyway.
Eh? Sorry. Didn't quite catch that.
Very well, let us proceed. Your opening statement, if you please, Lord Menzies. Very recently, Great Britain signed an alliance with a rising power in the Far East. The accused in the dock today is a student from that same land, a certain Mr. Soseki Natsume. And while our country has extended this foreign student the warmest of our welcomes, regrettably the kindness has not been returned. In fact, this student is accused of a most sinister act. Oh! Of plunging a knife into the back of an innocent woman who was doing nothing but walking down the street. A knife crime? I'll tell you from bitter experience, those are the worst, bloody oath they are. Oh, shut up.
Just look at that sallow complexion and that short stature. He's one of those dreadful Japanese.
Come on, let's get this over with. With me now, everyone. 1, 2, 3.
Eh? Sorry? Didn't quite catch that.
Oh my god. Pray, forgive the discourtesy of smashing my hallowed chalice here in this great chamber. Allow me to call the first witness to the stand. Very well. Bailiff, lead in the inspector. Lead the inspector in, please. Fuck, I couldn't speak. Oh, you. Your name and occupation, please. Yes, sir. Tobias Gregson, Detective Inspector at Scotland Yard. Would you please summarize the event? Would you please summarize the events for the case for the court, Inspector? Oh, that's what she looks like. The victim is thought to be a young woman in her 20s by the name of Olive Green. I beg your pardon, Inspector. Thought to be. Yes, haven't been stabbed in the back by her attackers. The victim fell unconscious. That was 3 days ago now, and she's been comatose ever since. What? So they don't even know who she is for sure? Comatose, I see. But her life is not in danger? Fortunately for the Eastern students, the charge will not be murder. Pray, elaborate on the details, Inspector. Sir, if I could ask everyone to look at this street map. As I mentioned, the incident took place 3 days ago at around 5 in the afternoon. It happened on the pavement running alongside the Briar Road, a wide thoroughfare for horse-drawn carriages. Fuck. It had not been long stopped snowing as the victim, Miss Green, was walking down the street. Out of the blue, she was approached from behind by the accused and stabbed in the back. Luckily, the young lady's life was spared, and she's currently being treated in one of the city's hospitals. But being unconscious as she is, we've been unable to take a statement from her, of course. This is case file, which everything we know about the victim so far. Thank you, Inspector. The court will accept the documents as evidence, if you please. Bro, my arms are looking... Anyways. Let me get a look at that shit. Let me go to court record. Swearing it's not to me. The sum of 2 shillings tendered in the receipt of the picture of Monsieur Lecoq. A meal for Gabor. How the fuck do you say that? Canterbury Yearnings. Young woman was rendered unconscious following a stab wound in the back. Victim Olive Green, female, stout, early 20s. Pavement of Briar Road, East Side. Victim remains unconscious. Her name was gleaned from her personal effects. Other details are unknown. Apart from the single stab wound from the large knife, no other signs of injury were observed. The assailant was seen running away by the reporting officer and was successfully arrested the following day.
What of the weapon that was used?
Sir, I have that here. It was removed from the victim's back. Ow, that big thing is starting to make me scared to walk down the street now.
With a heavy blade like that, almost anybody would have been able to stab the poor woman.
Even the scragged-looking Soseki-san, I suppose. A common or garden jackknife, I would say. Rather nondescript. Thank you, Inspector. The court accepts the blade as evidence. Okay, I need to look at it. Now then, what do we know of the motive? Money or valuables, I presume? But you would have found that on him if that was the case. The tip is broken off.
Oh, look here, Mr. Naruhodo. Just at the tip. A small piece of the plate appears to be missing.
You're right. Well spotted, Miss Usato.
I wonder what could have happened to it.
Yes. You don't think it could still be lodged in the victim, do you?
Oh dear, I hope not. That sounds terribly painful.
Is there anything... Oh, that's just where you pick it out. Okay. Well, I wonder what significance that will have. From what we can tell by looking at the woman's possessions, it seems like she's a poor student herself. Hard to imagine she would have had anything much worth pinching, my lord. I see. Well, in that case, are we looking at some deep-seated resentment toward the victim? I'm afraid I couldn't say. Apart from visiting second-hand bookshops, the defendant, Mr. Natsume, doesn't appear to get out much. At this moment in time, we haven't been able to establish any sort of connection between him and the victim. I didn't do anything, he just did that himself. If theft and grievance have been ruled out as the motive, what reason could Mr. Natsume possibly have had for stabbing the young woman? Yet you arrested the man in spite of that, in a totally unjustified and heavy-handed way. Hello, bitch, there's people behind you.
Pray forgive the discourtesy of flinging a freshly uncorked bottle into the public gallery, but your words have soured its hallowed bouquet. For it is you, my learned friend, who is being heavy-handed here.
What?
Scotland Yard does not arrest people without good cause. That should be beyond question. Inspector Gregston, the prosecution calls for your formal testimony. Explain to the court precisely why the constabulary came to arrest the Nipponese student.
Yes, sir. Give me a second. I'm gonna go get those fucking crackers. Never mind. The crackers are gone, so I just ate some lunch meat. As I said, as I said, it was 5 o'clock in the afternoon when the incident occurred, and there was an unusually light fog. Visibility was reasonably good, and there was no one else about but the victim and the accused. Out of the blue, the victim was stabbed from behind and subsequently collapsed on the pavement. The accused ran off, scattering his belongings all over the floor. Those being a number of old books he just bought. He was on his way home from a bookshop, it seems. It was just a matter of working out who the books belonged to, and we found the bloke to arrest him. Old books, you say? Yes, my lord. I have a photograph here of the scene of the crime taken immediately after the incident. Bro, there's this one... post that I made on TikTok yesterday. Apparently it's just blowing up. I don't know why. I'll take that photographic print as evidence, please, Inspector.
You Nipponese are a spineless breed, too cowardly to admit defeat.
Shut the fuck up. Is that snow right here?
Denying everything despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary.
Well,
Forgive me, Lord Van Zeeks, but the defendant is not denying everything as he put it.
What are you doing, Mr. Sato? Do go on.
Mr. Natsume has admitted to playing some part in the incident. Isn't that right, Mr. Naruhodo?
Well, now that you mention it, when we visited him in the prison yesterday, he did tell us what it all had happened. As I was walking along that accursed pavement, I could make out the sole silhouette of another ahead of me. A woman wearing a green overcoat she was, and just as I went to overtake her, she suddenly let out a little scream and collapsed onto the cold, hard slabs of stone at my feet. I was terrified. I had to get away from there, so I ran as fast as my legs would carry me back to my accursed lodgings.
A green overcoat.
Well, that's exactly what the woman in this print is wearing.
Oh my, a photographic print in full color. What will the world come up with next?
The defendant has done nothing more than admit he fled the scene of a terrifying incident. That does not mean that he's guilty of the heinous crime of stabbing the woman in the back.
There was nobody else there at the time, just the two of them, the victim and the accused. In other words, there was nobody else who could possibly have stabbed the woman. A fact that the accused concedes.
It seems this cross-examination could prove to be pivotal, counsel.
Proceed, please.
Yes, my lord. Nothing for it. I just have to use this cross-examination to turn the tables here. It's our only chance. Pressing everything. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A light fog, you say? Well, light for London. You could see the opposite side of the street for once, not much farther though. That's light, is it? Around these parts, yes. Not something I'd expect a Japanese fellow like yourself to know, of course. I've read that London is famous for its fog, but in my country people usually imagine that gives the city rather a beautiful appearance.
How quaint. Yes, well, it's not something for us Londoners to tend to romanticize.
I see.
At this time of year, the fog causes a large number of accidents, especially when it's heavy. Sometimes you can't even see your own hand at the end of your arm.
Indeed, the other day I was very nearly trampled by horses before I could see the carriage they were pulling. Sato-san and I should definitely remember to stop, look, and listen.
However, on the day that concerns us, the fog was somewhat lighter than usual. A fact no doubt lamented by the accused.
Victim and the accused. How are you able to state that with any certainty?
Quite simply, my learned friend, because that is what the witnesses to this crime have told us.
Yes, Inspector Gregson mentioned the witnesses yesterday, didn't he?
That's right. One of them is a policeman, I believe, from Scotland Yard.
That is correct, ma'am.
That is correct, ma'am. Then we must hear their testimony.
The prosecution will of course call them to the stand, should it be necessary.
But wait a minute. At 5 o'clock in the afternoon in the middle of winter, it would have been dark already. No matter how light the fog might have been, no one could have seen.
I'm unaware of the situation in your tiny island in the east. But here in the capital city of Great Britain, all main roads are illuminated by the night gas streetlights. The prosecution believes that there would have been ample light by which to witness the crime.
Jesus. Quite. Here in London, for the first time in history, mankind has completely conquered the darkness. Which means we really need to hear those witness statements. If I could just get through the fog of this cross-examination, maybe we'll be able to. It seems the counsel for the defense is taking stock.
Continue with your testimony, Inspector.
Out of the blue, the victim was stabbed behind and subsequently collapsed on the pavement. From behind, you say? That's right, as you can see from this print. Yes, quite so, Inspector. The handle of the weapon is clearly protruding from the victim's back. And you say this poor woman, Miss Green, remains in a critical condition, comatose no less? I'm afraid so, my lord. Yes, she's been treated at Bart's. I was hopeful that she'd come around before the trial started so I could take a statement, but it wasn't to be. Yes, that is indeed a pity. It would have been most illuminating to hear the victim's own account of the events.
Luck is on your client's side, it seems.
On the contrary, my client has been exceedingly unlucky. Your force of tone is seriously undermined by those disturbingly wide eyes, I'm afraid. The accused ran off scattering his belongings all over the floor. Mr. Natsume's belongings, I think you'll find it's all there in the photographic print of the crime scene. Yes, the 3 books on the floor. That's right, my lord, second-hand books they were. Irreparably damaged after falling in the snow, of course. I was gonna see if it was gonna change the words. Because I think... Case file... those are 3 books.
The accused should have easily carried all 3 books in one hand, which means his other hand would have been free to wield a knife, for example.
He's very clever, isn't he? What do you mean? He's made it extremely hard for you to assert that Mr. Natsume had his hands full with books. He's managed to close the one avenue of escape we might have had before we even knew it was there. You mean to say that the defendant was holding his belongings that he thrust... You mean to say the defendant was holding his belongings as he thrust his knife into the woman's back? Why would he drop his stuff, though? I think it will, as long as you keep at it. I'm hoping that my manga stuff works. That must be what happened, my lord, yes. This motherfucker has no chin.
Hold it!
The defendant apparently visits a secondhand bookshop on a daily basis. Yes, so I understand. A shop full of old English literature. I commend the accused on the lofty subject matter of his scholarly infatuation. The books room was stacked floor to ceiling with these old musty books. Can you tell us more about the bookshop in question, please, Inspector? Well, if I must, I'll have to ask you to look at the street map again, I'm afraid. The closest secondhand bookshop to the accused's lodgings is this place here, Bourbon Books. A little place on the corner of Briar Road and Meerschaum Street. As it happens, the accused is currently living in lodgings on the other side of Briar Road at the opposite end. Why was he... Well, he'd be leaving there, but wouldn't he cross the road? I don't know. It happens the accused is currently living in lodgings, which means it doesn't take a genius to work out the route that he would have taken home. Something like this. But why would he not just like get on that side and go in? That, I feel like that's easier. You don't have to cross the road and worry about getting hit, especially if it's foggy. Yes, I concur with your conclusions, Inspector. The defendant would certainly have passed the scene of the crime on his way home from that particular shop. Mr. Naruhodo, I think that what the inspector just told us could turn out to be of vital importance. The most important point that the inspector just made being... I think it's the bookshop's location. The crucial detail in what you just told the court, Inspector, is the location of the bookshop. I couldn't agree more. So, where is it exactly? Okay. Are you winding me up, Sunshine? Oh my god. I got the map out and everything. Used the red ribbon ink and just drew the book's route home for you. And I distinctly remember you seeing you nod along, Counsel. What was I? Oh, yes, of course. I must have been so nervous I didn't take it in. The blunder of the day goes to you, my dear friend, my dear learner friend. No, not yet. The trial's only just begun, after all. Oh my god. You know, you never know when shit's gonna pop off. You have like no clue. 'Cause I literally, like I was just saying earlier, I posted like a TikTok yesterday and it's popping the fuck off. Like I haven't stopped getting notifications and comments and stuff on it. Like it's about to be at 2,000 likes. I know that it's like in the grand scheme of thing, it's not all that much, but it's like 9K views with 2,000 likes. I would strongly advise you to look carefully through the court record at this stage. Okay. Urban Books. Yes, miss. Hey, just keep going. You never know which one's gonna like make that big old hit. Like, I'm basically at like 800 fucking followers on TikTok now, just based off one stupid, silly, goofy video that I posted randomly. I didn't even think that much of it. And that's like really cliche to say, because like, you know, every single time that like a video pops off and like a creator acknowledges it, they always go like, I wasn't even really thinking that it was gonna pop off or anything, blah blah blah. But it's always because you're posting all the time, like you're making content and putting it out there all the time for people to see. And whenever they finally do see it, you know, or at least whenever you finally do something that people like, you know, latch onto, whatever it might be, like you'll get so many fucking views off of that. I'm just not the one to continuously keep doing the same TikTok audio over and over. It's just not, I don't know. Like, I'll probably do it again, or like more like goofy audios like that, but I can't just keep doing the same exact one. Like, I'll get tired. And I also want my stuff to blow up from like my art. Like, I want my art to go crazy, you know? Like, once I'm done, because I think I'm just gonna like add some finishing touches to some pages and get them out, because I'm so worried about them like looking so polished or whatever. I mean, smart is like a quantifier that, you know, is kind of like, I feel like is not accurately like given as to say, I think that you are intelligent. A lot of people are intelligent, or are more intelligent than they're willing to give themselves credit for. Like, for me, I never really considered myself intelligent until I started realizing like I can fucking read Japanese and speak it a little bit. Like, and I mostly taught myself almost every single thing that I know. I feel like, you know, people think smart means like Einstein level of fucking, or like, I would say Stephen Hawking, but you know, they think like people think like Jimmy Neutron levels of like smart. Like, smart doesn't mean that you can solve like the world's hardest math equation within 2 seconds. That's not what smart is. Smart means that, you know, that you're knowledgeable, like you're intellectual, like you know about some things. Like, you can be smart in certain areas as opposed to other ones. Like, smart doesn't just mean like all encompassing. You can be smart in certain aspects, and that's where you have to give yourself credit for that. You can be smart like in the music field, like I'm smart in the art field, and like Japanese learning and bodybuilding, and you know, like I have avenues that I'm more intellectually attuned with rather than just all encompassing knowledge. That's just like, that goes into like maybe like genius levels, like, you know, like if you were to actually use the word. But smart isn't like, you know, you're this big ass philosopher or something. Like, smart can mean many things, or smart in their own ways, you know. It's just a matter of working out who the books belong to, and we found the book, and we found the book to arrest him. You asked for the help of the famous detective Herlock Sholmes to locate the defendant, I believe. Stuff and nonsense. Sorry? That jack-in-office, that busybody just comes and sticks his oar in whether we ask him or not. But according to what I have here, Mr. Sholmes was shown to the scene by Scotland Yard detectives. What clip what I said? Well, that has nothing to do with me. I mean, that's just the fact of the matter. I mean, I do agree. I think I probably should clip that, make that like a highlight or something. You know, especially since it seems like my social media it isn't like popping off, but like, you know, I have more eyes on me, so I probably, you know, I probably could like put that on my TikTok and stuff. But I honestly just think like, you know, just like me, because that's like, I say that because that's something that I have to continuously tell myself that, you know, I am smart, you know, I am a lot more knowledgeable than I give myself credit for, because I can speak or at least understand and comprehend more than one or two languages. Like, I can understand English, Japanese, and Spanish concurrently right now, maybe a little bit of German. I'm very good at art. I'm very creative. I like to storytell. I like to write. You know, you need to be, you know, smart in at least like English, how English works, you know, like how to write novels a little bit. Like, you have knowledge in a multitude of different areas that you might not realize, because the notion of smart, and I think it's just because of the way that words get watered down and like overused and oversaturated. And, you know, it's not entirely a bad thing, but, you know, it is unfortunate that we aren't reminding ourselves of what words like actually mean. But smart, just like how peak or how I don't know, godly or words like that, or any word that you can think of that gets overused. Like, I think smart is just one of those words that gets overused or like oversimplified to meaning, or trying to point into all encompassing or like overall intelligence, rather than noting that smart can mean that you're smart or intellectually gifted in certain areas, not as in like you can, you know, handle company like marketing, or you can also like have like strategic, like I don't know, like, you know, there's multiple layers to being smart or intelligent. And then I feel like what people mean to say when people are thinking of someone that like I hate to use Stephen Hawking as an example, but, you know, philosophy, or Neil deGrasse Tyson, I think they're thinking of like philosophers or people who are more like almost on genius levels of, you know, intellectualism and stuff like that. I think that's what people just kind of like oversimplify and just say like, oh, he's smart. And it's like, yeah, of course he is, but he's like an intellectual. He's like a philosopher. He's like someone that studies like physics, and, you know, that takes a lot. But also, he might not be gifted in other areas, you know, stuff that he's not knowledgeable on. So, you know, a lot of people are smart, you know. There's plenty of people that are smart, like people in our friend group, people that me and you know, like whether, you know, mutually or exclusively, a lot of people that we know are smart, and they don't give themselves that credit because they're thinking that smart means like genius. But smart just means like you're knowledgeable in the field, that, you know, you have smarts, like you have knowledge, like you carry with you some sort of wisdom, you know. I'll tell them time and time again, whether something happens, send word to the headquarters, then follow your blooming instructions. I see. If that meddler gets his hands on any details, we'll all be reading it in Rand's magazine next month. And you can bet your last farthing that I'll be in there too, striked all my hard work on the case. Yes, Mr. Sholmes, no Sholmes. Yes, Mr. Sholmes, no Mr. Sholmes. Aren't you clever, Mr. Sholmes? That's all the thanks I'll be getting. Inspector, if the man is proving detrimental to the Yard's activities, perhaps I should step in and deal with him.
It appears Inspector Gregson is at a loss for words.
Yes. The Reaper's words carry a lot of weight, obviously.
Anyway, the point is, that little Japanese bloke's already admitted it. He's admitted that those books all over the pavement at the scene were the ones that he bought that day.
Exactly, because you know about music and you're passionate and, you know, wholeheartedly for music and the industry of music and the creativity that comes with making music and stuff. Me, I'm more knowledgeable in art and creativity that comes in like anime style or comic books or writing or novels. I also really like learning different languages. I like learning about different cultures and customs. I like learning about the differences that come with like social, you know, norms and stuff. You know, those are just things that I'm passionate about, things that I like to spend my time on, you know. And of course I'll be more knowledgeable about those things because that's what I'm interested in. That's what I devoted my time to, like, learning more about.
What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? If you're unable to sway the jury during this cross-examination, I'm afraid
that Mr. Natsume's fate will be sealed. Yes, they're sure to find him guilty, so one way or another, I have to expose an undeniable inconsistency in the inspector's testimony. As I said, it was... Street map. It took me a while to get to the point where I'm at now with my art. Like, I never thought that I'd get to the point where, you know, my art was, you know, good enough for people to want to see it or want to read it. Most important. Yes, I think I'd agree with that. I don't know. For example, you go to a shop and buy a cereal. Wait. Oh my god, I'm so stupid. I'm so stupid. I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb. It's the answer is the name of the bookstore.
Hold it!
I messed up. That looks so fucking funny. Why would you tell me that? Now I just feel old. Cause Yode books, but bourbon books. This is different.
Objection!
Ay. Fuck. I fucked up. I didn't go in and, oh my god. I have to go in and like repress the statement.
Hold it!
I didn't pay attention because he said bourbon books, but his receipt is from Yode books. So there's a discrepancy right there. Inspector Gregson, may I ask you a favor? What? Would you kindly add the name of the bookshop to your formal testimony, please? I believe it may be of vital importance. Maybe? Oh, well, you know, I mean, yes, it could be very important. It could be a very important clue. Very well. Not that I see it being of any great significance, but please revise your testimony accordingly, Inspector. Yes, sir, my lord. Whatever you say. Could the man be any more sardonic? No, he wasn't.
Objection!
If I could just stop you there, Inspector Gregson. What is it, Sunshine? I'm a busy man, you know. This is a receipt that we found in Mr. Natsume's room. It was issued on the day of the incident and the details of the purchase of 3 second-hand books. And you found that in the accused's room, did you? Yes, but the point is not where the receipt was found, but the name of the shop printed on it. Go on. This receipt was issued from a bookshop called Yode Books. Yode Books? Y-O-R-E, I presume? Yes, my lord. So Mr. Natsume did indeed purchase a number of books at a second-hand bookshop that day. However, the bookshop in question was not Bourbon Books. What? Inspector, do you know this other bookshop? Yes, sir. Yode Books is another second-hand bookshop not far from Bourbon Books. It's just that, well, it's such a small place, I didn't think the accused would have known about it. But in fact, that is the bookshop which the defendant visited on the day in question. And the receipt proves it. Yes, for what difference it makes. Whether the man purchased his musty tomes. Wherever the man purchased his musty tomes, it makes no difference in the final analysis. I disagree. I mean, after all,
I have the street map here, if that might be of help.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Have a look at this, please.
If the defendant had been returning from Bourbon Books, then yes, he would most certainly have passed the place where Miss Green was attacked. However, if we take into the fact that he was actually at another bookshop, Yode Books, it may very well turn out that he wouldn't have passed that location at all.
Could it be? My, it rather depends on where this other bookshop is, but I do declare it might be a possibility.
Is that right, Mr. Lawyer, sir? What you just said? Absolutely. It absolutely could be right. Inspector Gregson, where is this Yode Books establishment? Well, obviously we looked into that. It turns out that Yode Books is just here on the corner of Marsham Street going east. So if he would have, but There you have it, as you can clearly see now. Oh. But he could have went the other way.
My learned Nipponese friend is obviously in training to be a clown, the way he regales us with such witticisms. To your future career in the circus.
You put that glass down now, or I'll put it down for you.
I, didn't think I needed to spell it out, but here we go. If the accused was coming home from Yode books instead of bourbon books, there's no doubt he still would have passed the place where the victim was stabbed. That's if he went that way, though. Yes, thank you, Inspector. Ugh. Allow me to reiterate for my learned, if somewhat slow, Nipponese friend. Oh. Wherever the man purchases musty tones, it makes no difference in the final analysis. Ugh.
As I suspected, you can't fool me. I don't suggest you try.
What did I say, eh? I've had enough of this now.
Beg your pardon. Terribly sorry, but would you mind repeating that?
Mr. Naruhodo, we mustn't give up. What do you mean?
If the prosecution's assertion is correct, the members of the jury may very well decide that Mr. Natsume is guilty.
She's absolutely right.
We must think. We must consider the assertion just put forward by the prosecution very, very carefully.
They claim Soseki-san must have passed out on the location of the incident on his way home from Yode books, but... the assertion just made by the prosecution is fundamentally flawed. Explain yourself, counsel.
Yes, my lord. You can see what I mean on this map.
When returning from Yode books to his lodgings, Mr. Natsume could have followed the route suggested by the prosecution. However, that isn't the only conceivable route to take between the two places. He could have went down, yeah. I feel like it's better to go that way, I don't know. If the defendant uses these streets, look what happens. He arrives back at his lodgings without passing the location where the victim was attacked.
Talking back to a clown is a fool's errand, of course. However, I feel compelled to point out that route is what is commonly referred to as the long way around. On a cold winter's night, why would any man choose to take a longer route home?
Well,
the answer is extremely simple. He wouldn't. In other words, the accused took the obvious route back to his lodgings and is the obvious perpetrator of this crime.
But, yes, I've got it. Obviously, we must ask the man himself. Ask Mr. Natsume which route he took home.
I've already informed the court of the accused's response to such questioning. He claims he has no recollection.
That's right. As I said, the bloke seems to spend his time outside wandering aimlessly from A to B. The day was no exception. He says he doesn't remember where he was or which route he took home.
I don't believe this!
I thank you, my learned friend, and suggest that we do not waste any more of the court's time by wandering aimlessly around this subject. Pray, what say you, this insightful jurors?
But even if that is the case, the defense is still... Oh? I agree with Lord Van Zeeks, wholeheartedly and in every way.
What? I don't believe it. Does this mean...
We members of the jury are completely convinced now. Fuck! Very well. In that case, I hereby call upon all members of the jury to present your findings to the court.
Guilty.
Oh,
Guilty. Guilty.
damn, we didn't even get to do anything.
Guilty.
You can't even hear shit. What the fuck? I didn't even get to do shit.
To the insightful members of the jury, I applaud your brave resolve. You serve Queen and country admirably.
Mr. Naruhodo.
No, not yet. This isn't over yet. I still have one last chance to sway the opinion of the jury. I have to tip the balance of those scales the other way. I have to turn this around somehow.
Those are the eyes of Corey, not yet willing to give up and die.
So I presume you intend to wield your rights again in this trial? The rights of the defense written into antiquated British law that should have been buried long ago. Call it antiquated if you will, but it's the defense prerogative to carry out a summonation examination if it so chooses. Very well, counsel. In accordance with the letter of the law, we shall proceed with a summonation examination. Are the members of the jury ready, Mr. Foreman? Of course, we're ready. I'm all too familiar with that Nipponese whippersnapper and his uncas refusal to throw in his alley. Well, you're the one who wanted to get involved in some shit that you weren't supposed to, so that's not my fault, motherfucker. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have determined the defendant to be guilty. Judicial findings. For pity's sake, that little Nipponese oddity already admitted it himself, didn't he?
If he said that a woman in green collapsed before his eyes, why can it only have been the victim?
The man wouldn't have gone around the houses on his own way back from the bookshop, not in winter.
So the poor woman was attacked from behind, was she? How dreadful.
I really don't care. Can't we just wrap this up now? I've got work to be doing.
Yode books, yes, nice shop, that. But bourbon books, no, not worth a visit.
Girl, he don't even know where the fuck he at. Give me 1 second. Bro, like, my phone is blowing up because of that video, dude. Bro, one more away and I have 800 followers. Holy shit. Gabby Douglas. Alright, the rest of that I can look at later.
With only minor exceptions, the reasons for the findings of the defendant are all too clear.
I'm not sure about that old man and the dude at the end. He just wants to leave. He doesn't care.
When the stabbing occurred, the only two people at the scene were the victim and the accused. And the accused himself has admitted to seeing the victim in her green overcoat sink into the ground before his eyes. Furthermore, we have heard from the inspector that the defendant then fled the scene. I must say, I would have ample grounds to convict the man already.
Oh dear, even the judge appears convinced of Mr. Natsume's guilt now. Why did he have to run away like that? And how are we supposed to believe in some phantom attacker that nobody could see? This is impossible. How can I make This is possible. How can I possibly make a case for the defense? Mr. Naruhodo, this is no time for grumbling. If we want to force the trial to continue... Yes, I know. I have to turn the tide. I must make the jurors change their minds. Well, 4 of them at least. Exactly. We have no choice but to forge forward. You have the floor, counsel. Begin your summonation examination. Yes, my lord. Oof. I just need to keep this trial going somehow, whatever it takes. Come on, Ryunosuke. You can do it. Jury examination. I want to get you. A man's life is on the line here, sir. This will take as long as it takes. Don't get clever with me now, son. My life's on the line too, and so is my family's. Oh. The likes of you wouldn't understand, but a laborer like me can't afford to take time off. If I don't work, I don't eat, and neither do the wife or the kids. Oh, I see. That must be very hard. I go to the union every morning to find out what needs doing, and if you're late and the work's taken, it's tough. This time of year, there's water and gas supply pipes bursting left and right and center. They're after cheap labor to get the roads dug up to fix it. It's a hard slog from dawn to dusk, it is. So you were out digging up the roads on the day of the incident as well, were you? That's right. In fact, if I remember rightly, it was just around the corner from where it all happened. By that old bookshop it was. What? Another coincidence? That's right. Meerschaum Street it was. On the map, Mr. Naruhodo, there are only 3 named streets. Juror number 5, I need you to add that information to your formal statement, please. What's the point in that? Can't we just get this business over with now? Please, sir, it's important. Fine, I'll do it then.
Hold it!
So if I understand correctly, you're a day laborer and you were doing road maintenance that day. That's right. Like I said, you get a lot of burst gas and water pipes underground in the middle of winter. It's the only time of year fellows like me can actually make a few bob, and I'm missing out today. And when you say from dawn till dusk, well, the work has to be completed within the day. See, no coaches, or pedestrians can walk past. So he can't fucking go that way. He has to go the other way. I wonder if I could trouble you, sir. So mark this on the street map. The exact location of the works you were carrying out on. Give it here then. Let me have a look. I'm so glad I fucking came to you first. Right, let's see then. So he can't go that way. He has to go this way. Tidy dig, I tell you. We had to get all through the drifts of snow through that frozen solid. Oh my god. And at what sort of time did you finish the work? Well, we started in the morning and we can't have finished before gone 6, I'd say. So the time of the crime is completely different, and those weren't his books. That was art. That was That means the road work was still going on when Miss Green was attacked around 5 o'clock. The words. So that was her books, because she came from Bourbon Street and went down that way. He had to go the other way because he can't go that way. Girl-day books, yes, nice shot, but Bourbon books, no, not worth a visit. I'm not really worried about you. So the poor woman was attacked from behind, was she? How dreadful.
Hold it!
Whatever's the matter, young man?
You're the...
Sister.
You're the wife of Mr. Garadev, aren't you? The landlord who rents Mr. Natsumi his room?
The master's wife? Where'd you get your idea, sir? I'm the maid, you understand?
She's keeping up that charade? This is going to be an awkward... Why didn't you mention this yesterday?
That you'd been selected for the jury in this trial, I mean?
Well, I was told not to mention it to anyone until the day of the trial, you see. It was in the letter I received. The instructions were very clear, so I'm afraid I had no choice.
I see. Anyway, Mr. Natsumi, the defendant, takes lodging in your master's house, doesn't he?
Yes, that's right. Although he's only been in a little over a week now.
And in that time, surely you must have taken stock of his character. Does Mr. Natsume look like the kind of man who would commit a crime such as this?
Oh my goodness me, yes. He's just the sort.
What?
Spending all his time in that dark and dingy room, sporting that unscrupulous mustache. That man never speaks, and don't get me started on those shifty eyes. All the neighbors are talking about him. I've heard them, you know. People think he must be building a bomb in there or something.
Oh dear, poor Mr. Natsume. How could people say such things about him? He's just a harmless bookworm, nothing more. Well, you just called him a worm, so... Anyway, I'd better be careful about inviting this maid to speak. She's said enough damning things already. I'm pitting you.
Objection!
Those two statements are clearly at odds with one another. At odds, counsel? Explain yourself. Please, don't point. It wasn't me, I swear.
What?
I just want to get this done and dusted. Well, juror number 3. Oh, me, sir? What do you mean? Juror number 5's words just now are completely significant. Extremely significant. Let's take a moment to consider the implications of what's been said on our map of the local area. On the day in question, Mr. Natsume visited this bookshop to purchase a number of secondhand books, and on the same day, we now know that there were works being carried out on Merchant Street, making it impassable, which means the defendant's route home could not have taken him along Merchant Street and down Briar Road. Oh yes, of course. What do you think, sir? Well, yes, you can't argue with that really, can you? We must have had a good 2 yards or more of the pavement up. Every gentleman and gentlewoman that came along had to turn back and go the other way. So the only conclusion is this: the defendant must have taken the longer route back to his lodgings. Yes, I suppose he must have. I suppose I must be right, eh? Juror number 3, you said the following: the man wouldn't have gone around the houses on his way back from the bookshop. But we see now that he had no choice. Yes. My lord, Mr. Juster, if I may. Yes, I don't think in all good conscience that I can say the man's guilty now. Yes, I'd like to see this trial continue so we can get to the bottom of what really happened. Thank you. What about you, sir? Who, me? Well, alright then. If there's a hole in the prosecution's argument, it should be filled in, that's what I say. Oh, well done, Mr. Naruhodo, that was wonderful. Well, we managed to change a couple of minds at least. It strengthens our position somewhat. Yes. And it will prompt the other members of the jury to reconsider their stance as well. They'll be asking themselves if their current leanings are really right or not. Now, if we could just identify one more clue or discrepancy that will make them stop doubting Mr. Natsume, we might be able to tip the balance completely. Yes, that's exactly what we've got to do. Vencease is looking to bring this trial to an early conclusion. That's what we have to prevent by whatever means we have to have at our disposal. Thank you, counsel. On with the summonation examination, please. Yes, my lord. What do you mean by that? You're right that at the time of the incident, The defendant admits to have seen someone wearing the green overcoat walking ahead of him.
Well, quite. That's precisely my point. Clearly, that someone wearing green was the victim. And clearly, that funny little Nipponese man with the disturbing mustache was the culprit.
But let us not forget, madam, the defendant vehemently denies attacking the woman.
Well, of course he does. If he admits to stabbing her, his life is over. The man is obviously a liver-faced coward. Honestly, claiming the woman simply collapsed before his eyes.
But if that's a lie, as you're suggesting, do you not think he would have concocted something more credible?
Oh, I really couldn't say. After all, you are foreign. Who's to say what goes through your funny little minds?
Oh. I could tell you what's going through my funny little mind right now, but you wouldn't like it. Exactly. The fuck, bitch.
I do declare the man has already made the admission. He himself stated that there was nobody else around. Surely the conclusion is obvious. No one else could have committed this awful crime.
Ugh.
If no one else could have done it, the accused must be the man. Really, it couldn't be more simple.
Your argument is compelling in its simplicity, I must admit.
Oh my, you are too kind, my lord.
That went well, for her. She's just stubborn.
Hold it!
I guess. Huh?
Sorry. Fold it, you say? Fold what?
No. What I said was hold it. What I wanted to ask was, do you visit Yore Books often?
I like the old books they have in there, yes. I enjoy reading them over a nice cup of old tea. That's my daily routine, you see. Same thing every day, including the day we're talking about.
And at that time, did you visit Yore Bookstore on the day in question?
Well, I was picking out books in there all afternoon, and I would have been in there just before 5 that I left. That's my daily routine, you see. Same thing every day, including the day you're all talking about.
Just before 5, you say, exactly when the victim was attacked. Are you sure about the time?
Oh yes, no mistake there. I remember it well. I'm not about to forget that day in a hurry, not after the dreadful time I had.
What do you mean?
Well, I was walking down Calabash Road when I slipped on ice and donked my head. It was always worse after the snow started falling. That's when it's most simpler. Knocked myself clean out, I did. I really thought my number was up.
Wait a minute. Let me get this straight. This happened on Calabash Road?
That's right. I live in Cornpipe, you see. Heading down Calabash Road is the quickest way for me to get back from Yore Books.
Juror number 6, if I must insist that you add that information to your formal statement, it may be very well significant.
I'm sorry. Extremely sick. No, I'm quite alright now.
You've changed 2 of the jurors' minds, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, just 2 more to go.
Deliver the finishing blow now. It's time to turn the tables here.
Wish I know how to do a Susato takedown. I suppose words will have to suffice for now.
Hold it!
Excuse me, but aren't you... Yes, that's right. I was in the witness stand myself just 2 days ago. Yes, I had a feeling I knew your face, or the side of it anyway. If I remember correctly, you're a banker, aren't you? That's right. After the gold rush down under, I came back to London to work. And it was all going swimmingly until you started fossicking around. Bruce Fairplay was a man of repute. Sorry? Don't think I've forgotten how you treated me the other day. How you had me and that young hatter pegged as criminals. Oh, well, you know, water under the bridge. Now, there's all sorts of rumors buzzing around, and the police have been badgering me non-stop. If I could turn back the clock... Well, anyway, I don't know about the hatter, but at least I'm in the clear now. And free to make up my own mind about who's guilty and who isn't. Thank goodness. Alright, maybe I might struggle to change this man's mind given our awkward history.
Oh dear, I wonder what's become of Mr. First now.
Objection!
Those two statements clearly show a flaw in the juror's reasoning.
A flaw? What are you talking about, counsel? Well, juror number 2, juror number 6?
Whatever do you mean, sir? I think perhaps the old man didn't hear you.
Unbelievable. It's not like I was loud or anything. There is at least one fact which we can be sure here. The bookshop receipt found in the defendant's room clearly indicates that on the day of the attack, he had been to Yorde Books and purchased a number of second-hand titles, and then returned home on foot.
But the man says he has no recollection of his return journey.
That's correct. But what he does remember is seeing someone appear in front of him on the way. Someone in a green overcoat who certainly collapsed on the pavement before his eyes.
Yes, we are all aware of this. The poor young woman who was stabbed, obviously.
Can we really be so sure of that, madam?
Whatever do you mean?
I'm sure you heard juror number 6's account of what happened to him that day. The same afternoon, there was somebody else apart from the victim, who was wearing a green overcoat and who fell over in the icy streets in the neighborhood.
Oh my! My goodness, you mean...
It's this old man who fell in front of him. That's right, I'm referring to, of course, to hard of hearing juror number 6.
Are you really suggesting that the person in the green overcoat whom the defendant saw collapse in front of his eyes was the jolly old gentleman at the end of the bench here with me today?
That is entirely possible, yes. After all, the old man had somewhat of a similar build to the victim. Well, look at that. My goodness me.
Sorry, you need a pee?
And crucially, we know precisely where the old man in the green overcoat fell. On Calabash Road. Therefore, if the person who Mr. Natsume saw collapsing in front of him was in fact juror number 6, was it really Calabash Road? Yes, it was. It means the defendant must have taken a long route back to his lodgings. And if that's true, then clearly the crime scene on Briar Road where the woman was stabbed was not on his way home.
Oh my.
Damn, we got some big ass hands. Did you see that? You idiot old man. If you hadn't been so daft as to roaming about there, we could have boxed this off hours ago. And really, what were you thinking wearing such a befuddled coat?
What did you say to me? Is it a crime for the elderly to walk the streets these days, huh? Is it a crime for me to slip over on the ice? Is it a crime to keep up with the latest styles and wear a beautiful green overcoat, is it? My lord, I do hope it won't cause you any inconvenience, but...
You'd like to change your leaning, I presume.
I do declare that I would. I should like to call for virtues of not guilty.
Thank you.
And I would too.
What?
Is it a crime to change your mind? Is it? Well...
Boom. Go ahead, give her the animation. Well, that summation examination has concluded with a rather large shift in opinion. The eyes 2, the nose 4. So the noes have it, not guilty, they say, which means we no longer have a consensus among the members of the jury. The trial will continue.
Objection!
Could it seem churlish of me to drink from my hallowed chalice moments after raising an objection, only to crush it in disgust? Pray forgive the discourtesy. Lord Van Zieks? It seems I must retract my earlier remark. What do you mean? I mistakenly credited these jerkers with intelligence by describing them as insightful. Yet we have just witnessed them falling for a cheap trick performed by an Eastern entertainer. Huh?
Whatever do you mean?
I haven't tricked anyone. Everything I've said is the truth. Indeed. Stalwart Juror number 5 was undoubtedly repairing the road as he claims. I believe you said it was a good 2 yards of the pavement that you had excavated, yes?
That's right. It took me the whole day, and then they paid me a measly tuppence for it.
Now, my learned Nipponese friend, tell me, do you have any notion of the distance that 2 yards represents?
Well, if I'm honest, I don't have a clue, no.
2 yards is a little less than 2 meters.
Less than 2 meters? That's not much at all. In other words,
a distance readily vaulted by anyone of moderate vigor. Would you not agree, my stalwart friend? Me? Well, I can't say you're wrong, no.
What? But why would you let him jump over that?
And did you perchance erect a sign to prevent pedestrians from passing the site of your works? I wouldn't dream of it. What a waste of time. No coaches would have had the hopes of passing anyway. We would just turn any gentlefolk back when they come. Kids jump right over us all the time. The accused is no gentleman as far as I can see. I have little doubt, however, he could spring over the 2-yard trench in his meanderings around town. Is that true? Is it? The incontrovertible truth is that the books just purchased by the accused were found at the scene. There can be no doubt that on his way back to his lodgings, Mr. Natsume walked down Briar Road. Crushed in a single sentence. And, old man.
Cold man, you can talk.
You say that around 5 o'clock on the day in question you slipped and fell on Calabash Road. Pray, was there a suspicious-looking Nipponese behind you at the time?
Oh, I can't say as I remember.
You don't remember? How about a wager, my learned friend? You say that this old man that the accused saw. But I would lay 1,000 to 1 against you being able to prove it.
And just that quick, he fucked my shit up. Lord Van Zeeks, explain yourself.
My lord?
If you had such a trenchant argument up your sleeve, why in the world did you not proffer it during the summation examination? I wanted to give this young foreign student the sightseeing experience he had no doubt came for. I wanted him to see for himself how the opinion of the jury is so readily swayed.
But my hospitality has its limits, and they have been reached, I feel. So, my learned friend, today's sightseeing tour of London is now over.
What are you talking about?
My lord. The prosecution requests permission to call its next witness to the stand.
Granted. Bailiff, bring forth the witness. Its next witnesses?
Mr. Naruhodo, do you not remember? We've been told on several occasions that there were eyewitnesses to the incident.
Yes, I remember, one of them being Scotland Yard policeman, no less.
I'm afraid that it's likely to be the prosecution's next witness.
Alright, no matter who Van Zeeks brings to the stand as his witness, and no matter what they say, I do believe in Soseki-san. I know he's innocent, and I'll keep believing it to the very end, until this battle is over.
Girl.
What is this? Please state your names and occupations to the court.
Oh! Constable Royal Beat, sir. Nothing to report on the street, sir.
I can't rely on him, motherfucker. He's never awake.
And I'm Mrs. Beat. Patricia's my name. I'm proudly to say I'm this young town hero's wife.
Royally beat. Yeah, because he's always asleep.
Well, in truth, we've not been married long. In fact, we celebrated our first anniversary only the other day.
No, it was your husband I was asking about. He seems tired.
Hardly surprising. Almost being an honorable occupation, patrolling the beat in the most demanding work in the world.
Oh, really? I'm sure I've heard of that before, actually. Indeed. Apart from rare days off, our gallant officers trudge some 20 miles a day, you know. And they're responsible for keeping the streets clean and lighting and extinguishing our street lights.
There are a number of items on that list that don't sound much like policing duties at all.
I wouldn't just be falling asleep on my feet, I'd have collapsed long ago.
But it goes without saying that a policeman's primary duty is the apprehension of criminals. Even when he's off duty, a constable is expected to investigate and resolve any crimes on his beat. For the London Bobby, he is a man of honor.
Motherfucker's asleep. And a man of slumber.
On the day in question, this man and his wife were walking down Briar Road in the opposite direction, and they witnessed the incident as it occurred. Is that not correct, Mr. and Mrs. Beat?
That's right, sir. Isn't it, Rolly?
Constable Rolly Beat, nothing to report on the street, sir. Oh my god. Oh my god, what a great witness he's going to be. My god.
You will tell the court exactly what you saw on the afternoon of the incident.
Alright.
Yes, sir.
And right back asleep. There he goes. Okay.
It was our wedding anniversary and Roly was taking me out for a meal. There was no time to change after work. Anyway, two silhouettes appeared out of the fog on the pavement in front of us. All of a sudden, one of them just collapsed on the floor. Then the other scattered something before running off. We ran straight over, of course, and then we went to help her at a nearby police box. It was definitely that Japanese man in the dock. Roly and I both saw him as clear as day.
Can I hear that from him? It's extremely compelling testimony, I must say.
Oh dear, this policeman and his wife are claiming to have positively identified.
Oh my god,
If their testimony is true, the alternative course of events that you established in the summation examination will be quashed.
it's death nailed, in fact, because that alternative was never viable in the first place.
What an unfortunate
bid chancing? And on your wedding anniversary too. Be chancing.
Oh, I know, but I still managed to go out for the evening with my man. I thank the Lord for that.
Gosh, the life of a young London Bobby sounds very hard indeed. Indeed, however, this cross-examination will be over in minutes. You may well have time to rest this afternoon. What do you mean by that? My learned friend, the witnesses saw the face of the man fleeing the scene. They are testifying under oath that it was without a doubt the accused, Mr. Soseki Natsume. And one of these witnesses is a policeman, no less, so you appreciate the gravity of the situation, I'm sure.
Except that the man's so tired his wife has to do all the talking.
Enough preamble. Counsel for the defense, commence the cross-examination, please.
Yes, my lord.
My leg is so itchy, bro.
It's our wedding anniversary, and Roly was taking me out for a meal. There was no time to change after work.
No time to change after work, you say? Are you also a member of the police, Mrs. Beats?
Oh no, sadly not. It's a job for the strapping young men only. Women and children and the elderly can't even apply.
Well, I think you can probably see why children and the elderly can't do the job, can you?
I think Roly looks ever so handsome in his uniform. It suits you down to... It suits you down the ground, doesn't it, darling?
What? I just finished my beat. Pat and I were heading to the station. I was actually planning on getting changed there. Is he talking in his sleep? This is creepy.
Oh no, Roly, I much prefer you in uniform. Sometimes I don't recognize you when I see you in plain clothes. Oh dear, that doesn't seem healthy.
Kindly adhere to the point. You were going for a meal after you had finished your beat for the day, correct? That's right, sir, yes. Although I was fit to drop, to be honest, after spending the whole day on my feet. But policing is my life, sir. As long as I'm the proud owner of this, I'll serve my city and my queen to the end. What's that now? My warrant card, sir, proof that I'm a London copper. It has noble founding principles on the force written on it as a reminder to all of us policemen of our sworn duty to patrol the streets of London town and uphold the peace of the common man. Sir, and for such noble cause I I cover 20 miles every single day without fail and without a grumble. Because I know that the plodding of my boots in all the foreigners is all the Londoners need to hear to feel safe and secure. So, fighting crime doesn't appear to come to it then. But sir, just on that one particular day, I was looking forward to celebrating my wedding anniversary. Mrs. Beast put up with this, with a lot being married to a bobby like me. I wanted to show my dear wife how much I care. Oh, Pat.
Oh, Royally. Oh, what a charming couple. Their young love is such a joy to behold.
If a little over the top, perhaps. And then, kindly describe what happened next.
Anyway, 2 silhouettes appeared out of the fog on the pavement in front of us.
2 silhouettes?
That's right, they were coming towards us, walking up our road on the opposite direction. There was a rather plump figure followed by a scrawny, thin-looking man.
That doesn't sound exactly like the victim pictured in this print, and like Mr. Natsume.
Yes, unfortunately it does.
And you're certain that at the time there was nobody else nearby?
Oh yes, quite certain. It was dark, but there are streetlights on Briar Road, you see, and there was nobody else around at all. Isn't that right, my darling?
What? Ah, yes, that's right. Of course. There was a light fog on the ground. But Briar Road is dead straight, so you can see a fairly long way down the pavement. And there's a street lighting as well. I didn't see any other pedestrians.
Before sleep takes a firm hold, your answer please, Mr. Beat. Are you quite sure of what you just said?
Yes, sir. As a copper who spends all day every day keeping watch on the streets, I'd swear to it, sir. And I'm as sure as for the love of my love for Patricia is true. Oh, Pat. Oh, Royally. Oh, my God. They're still maintaining that there was no one else around other than the victim and the attacker. It's starting to seem like there must be really how it happened.
It's beginning to seem like there's nowhere to turn.
Well, that didn't stop Mr. Natsume, did it? He fled the scene all too convincingly. Thank you. I believe we have a reasonably clear idea of the situation just before the incident now. What happened in the crucial moments that followed?
All of a sudden, one of them just collapsed on the floor, and then the other scattered something before running off.
It scattered something. What do you mean by that?
Oh, well, I couldn't quite make out what it was at the time, but when we got closer, I realized what it was. Didn't we, darling?
Oh my God. What? Oh, yes, that's right. It was some old books. I see old books. Yes, sir. The culprit had dropped a number of them, all around where the victim lay on the pavement. Indeed, as clearly pictured in this photographic print.
That rotten Japanese man did that when he did the deed.
Let's not forget that it remains to be established that the defendant was indeed the attacker. But we saw him. It was the man in the dock without question, sir. The mustache, the hunchback, and the cat-like eyes, the taut mouth, the snub nose. Everything. Any more insults you want to throw in?
That's right. He looked down at that poor defenseless woman with those terrifying, intense eyes. And then suddenly threw his books onto the pavement and ran away.
I see. This is tough. They seem as though they're telling the truth here.
May I remind the court that this unambiguous testimony comes from a policeman and his wife. Now please, continue. Yes, sir.
Oh my god.
Hold it!
Was it your husband who went to fetch help?
No, I went. I may not be a police officer myself, but I'm the proud wife of one after all. Isn't that right, my darling?
What? Yes, that's right. I asked Mrs. B to go. I was off duty by that point, but a Bobby's never truly off duty, of course, so I felt obliged to stay and guard the scene. Very laudable, Mr. B. Preserving the scene of a crime is a task of considerable importance. That's why I sent Patricia, you see. I told her where to find the right police box. Forgive my ignorance, but what do you mean exactly by the right police box? Depends on the crime's location, you see, as to who deals with it. Where the woman was stabbed wasn't exactly on my beat, so I told Patricia the way to the police box where the incident fell under, so she could go and report it.
I ran there as quickly as I could to ask for help from the Bobby on duty. There was nothing more potent than a young couple in love working together, you know.
And thanks to your swift response, the case was quickly resolved. The actions of two model citizens.
Oh, please, you're making us blush, isn't he, darling?
Yes, sir. Well, Patricia said, sir. Let's move on, shall we?
Hold it!
But surely you wouldn't have been able to see his face by the light of the gas street lamps, would you?
We absolutely could. Us Londoners have exceptional eyesight, I have you know.
Right.
The light from the street lamps was more than enough, and my husband already told you that the fog was only light, didn't he?
Yes, and what of the fog? We're famous for it across the globe, I believe. But it's an absolute menace to those of us who have to live with it, of course.
Oh, it is. When it's thick, you can't even see the hand at the end of your own arm.
Yes, alright, I take your point. Now, could you stop shaking your husband about?
The constant fog makes our eyes very sharp, see? That's why we can tell for sure and certain that it was the little Japanese man we saw. Can't we, darling?
What? Yes. It was the accused, and no mistake. The mustache, the hunchback, the cat-like eyes, and the top mouth, and the snub nose. Unmistakable, sir. As far as this couple's testimony is concerned, there can't be any question. Soseki-san they saw running away from the scene of the crime. So that's it, is it? That's their entire testimony?
What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo?
Well, I hate to admit it, but on hearing the testimony, it really does seem as though Mr. and Mrs. B saw what they say they saw. And Mr. Natsumi running away from the scene on Briar Road that day.
Yes, I feel the same.
So if that's true, where does it leave us?
The members of the jury are sure to call for a guilty verdict after this testimony.
Oh no, then what do we do?
If Kazuma-sama were here...
What are you trying to say?
I think you would try to find a contradiction somewhere else in their testimony.
What do you mean, somewhere else?
Their statement about seeing Mr. Natsumi is unequivocal. Calling that into question won't help. But if you could identify some other part of their testimony which appears to contradict the facts, you might be able to discredit them and make the jury doubt if the pair's memory on the day is accurate.
Oh, right.
Put simply, we must focus on finding a discrepancy in these statements somewhere. If we don't, I'm afraid the trial might reach an early and unfavorable conclusion.
Why do I always seem so up against it?
Mr. Lawyer, sir, can I ask you something?
Oh, yes, of course. What is it?
Well, you keep asking us all these questions about everything we've told you, so... It seems like you don't believe our testimony, is that right? Is it? Well, out with it.
What? No, it's... It's really not that at all.
My husband's a policeman, remember? And I know what I saw. I remember every last detail, everything, oh, I know. What about the books the man dropped? I can tell you the names of every single one I could, every single one. And you dare to question how reliable my testimony is?
That will do, Mrs. Beat.
No, it won't do at all. That Japanese lawyer has no idea what I'm capable of. Even if I decide to forgive him for insulting us, don't think for a minute that Rolly will.
I really didn't mean to cause offense. Please put your husband's fist down. Perhaps you would like the opportunity to supplement your testimony, Mrs. Beat? Might that appease you?
Oh, thank you, my lord. That would settle things nicely. Wouldn't it, darling?
Hold it!
Well, I decided to have a good look over the area for good measure. I'm a proud policeman's wife, after all. I did it for Roily.
And what was your husband doing at the time?
Oh, he was lying face down in the snow getting some well-deserved rest. He works ever so hard, you know. Ever so hard. Don't you, my darling?
Interesting way of guarding the scene of the crime. Well, Mrs. Beat, seeing as you regaled the court with the tales of your powers of recollection, would you be so kind as to recount the titles of the books you observed at the scene?
I'd be happy to. Now, are you all listening? There was the picture of some of the other what's it yearnings, and there was a meal for someone, and the last one was definitely the Thingummy something. You see?
Yes, I see there are one or two holes in your memory.
Oh well, they were along those lines, I'm quite sure.
There were indeed books found at the scene along those lines, as you put it.
What did I tell you? So I think it's very mean the way that you've been implying that my testimony can't be trusted. Don't you agree, darling?
Anyone who accepts my Patricia will have to answer me to answer to. Put that away. Terrifying. Yes, she really is. So that's it, is it? That's their entire testimony? Hold on, let me save before I present this.
Objection!
She named 4 books. So you're saying that there were 4 books?
That's right, I remember all of them. The picture of Monsieur somebody, what's it yearnings, and a meal for someone in the Thingummy something.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Beat. But there's a fundamental flaw in that statement of yours.
Oh no, what flaw?
Simply that, at the scene of the crime, there were only 3 books, not 4.
Uh-huh, what?
This is the receipt from the bookshop where the defendant bought his books.
Yode books?
Yes, and it details Mr. Natsume's purchases that day. But as you can see, only 3 books are listed.
Only 3? But no, that can't be. I remember seeing them. There were 4 books, I tell you, 4 dirty old books.
Oh, really? Have a good look at this photographic print of the scene of the crime. As you can clearly see from this evidence as well, there were only 3 books.
But I just don't believe it. I saw them there, I swear it. I saw them.
No, madam. I'm afraid your powers of observation cannot be relied upon. So it cannot be denied that though you say it was the defendant you saw, you could very well be mistaken.
No!
Objection!
It's plainly evident that it is your powers of deduction that can be relied upon, my dear learned Nipponese friend.
What? What cannot be denied is that these 2 witnesses saw the accused running from the scene, a fact that you know very well you have no hope of disproving. So you've striven to avert attention from that by the dint of some inconsequential discrepancies. Would that be fair? He sees right through me. But your plan has somewhat recoiled against you. What are you talking about? It's quite simple. Let me explain with a toast. To the policeman's wife and her entirely accurate testimony in every aspect.
Oh?
At the scene on Briar Road, a total of 4 books most definitely found. But what about the photographic print? It only shows 3 books. Quite right, only 3 can be seen in that print. That print? You mean to say... Allow me to present another, one that shows the victim's hand.
I don't believe it. It's the 4th book.
Oh my god, the 1st book was hidden from the view in the original print by the victim's torso. Oh my god.
There, you see. Look at that. Look.
Yes.
It's just like I said, isn't it, my darling?
Yes, sir. Patricia's always right, sir. Let us study the receipt for the books purchased by the accused on the day in question. Mrs. Beath, the titles once again, if you please.
Oh, yes, of course. The picture of the Monsieur somebody or the other.
The picture of Monsieur Lecoq.
What's it, yearnings?
Canterbury's yearnings.
A meal for someone.
A meal for... however you say that. As the Kurt has just heard, the witness remembers the book's titles flawlessly, save for a few minor details. Mrs. Beast's powers of recollection can only be described as exceptional.
Did you hear that, Rolly? The gentleman paid me a compliment.
Yes, sir. Flawless, sir. Patricia is flawless.
But there are only 3 books on the receipt, and Mrs. Beat mentioned 4.
There's nothing surprising about that. Clearly the 4th book is that which is shown in this photographic print. I'm sorry, counsel, but does that not seem odd? Why should the 4th book be omitted from the receipt? It's not odd at all, my lord. Photographic print clearly shows the book was in the victim's clutches. In other words, it belongs to the victim. No, it doesn't, because you can see where it's burned. And we remember that old dude was talking about he lost this book. The victim was holding her own book?
I wonder, what became of that fourth book?
Obviously, it wasn't overlooked by the investigating officers at Scotland Yard. I have it here as evidence. We need to link that back to Mr. Garadeb somehow. Sorry, girl, you're gonna have to stop posing as the maid this trial. Told you we were gonna take it to court. You will submit that aforementioned photographic print to the court, please, counsel. My pleasure, my lord. The prosecution rests. I have nothing further to add. What? You seem surprised, my learned friend. But your resistance until now has been in vain, entertaining yet but futile. The spurious longer route to the accused's lodgings that you tried to establish in your summation examination, and the attempted discrediting of the witness's powers of recollection in your cross-examination. Futile. I walked right into this, didn't I?
You see, everything we said is true. Isn't that right, my darling?
Yes, Pat. Marry me, Pat. So, perhaps aren't y'all already married? What are you talking about? So perhaps the ladies and gentlemen of the jury would like to reconsider their positions, should the court waste any more time on this Nipponese travesty. This book is burned.
Oh, look at this. The book has been badly burnt.
You're right. You'd never be able to read it in this state, especially not the latter pages.
What a terrible waste. Judging from the scorched edges of the paper, I think the damage must have occurred very recently.
A book recently damaged by fire. Why does that seem to raise a red flag with me? Is there anything else?
Let me see. It's a book titled The Lion's Pride.
I'm afraid I don't know any English literature at all, so it wouldn't be something I've heard. Wait a minute. The Lion's Pride? That's strange. I think I've heard of a book by the name before, and very recently, too.
It's a title I recognize, too, Mr. Naruhodo.
Okay, I don't think there's anything else. Or is the decision already? You have heard of witnesses and seen all the evidence. This trial has run its course.
Mr. Naruhodo, I'm afraid we're in a terribly precarious position.
I know, but if I fight back in the wrong way now, I could very well just make matters worse. Think, Ryunosuke, think. What do you do now?
Objection!
I'm not done yet. No, my learned friend, it's over. The last cross-examination was your final chance to establish a credible defense, and you failed. The die has been cast. There is no more room for debate. Well, it might be over as far as you're concerned, but... I can't think of what to say.
If I may, Lord Van Zieks. It seems somewhat boorish to close down the debate at this point.
Your insignificant little Eastern Isle must be a lawless hole indeed. For a lowly judicial assistant to have the audacity to intervene at a moment like this.
Oh.
I am, to my shame, still a very inexperienced lawyer, so you will have to forgive me. But I consider my assistant's advice essential and her opinions invaluable.
Mr. Naruhodo.
One of this land's great guiding principles is tolerance, so... One of this land's greatest guiding principles is tolerance, so the court will hear you, madam. Go ahead, Mr. Sato, please. Very well. Pray, what insight can you give us? What have we all overlooked in this matter that you see fit to pursue further?
Well, the court has been presented with new evidence, but only after a last cross-examination finished.
I see. And you believe that this new evidence warrants further examination, do you?
Mr. Naruhodo, what do you think? It's just possible that this new evidence might be the decisive proof we've been waiting for. The judge is sure to ask the members of the jury to announce their leanings in a moment. And of course, he's sure to ask you to explain what the crucial piece of evidence is and why. So we must take this opportunity to examine the newly presented evidence as thoroughly as possible.
I understand. And thank you, Miss Susato. This is it. Susato-san has managed to win us one last chance here. I can't let it go to waste. The defense wishes to present the evidence, my lord. Very well. The defense may present one further piece of evidence. Evidence that apparently offers a profound insight into this case. Boom. That one. The evidence in question is what we can see from the newly presented photographic print of the crime scene. The fourth book, found in the victim's hand. We have already discussed this fourth book at length. Other than it being in the victim's grasp at the time of the incident, no significance has been attached to it. Pursuing the matter further would be a flagrant waste of the court's time, as you well know. Yes, I'm afraid, counsel, I must concur with the prosecution on this matter. When I afforded you this opportunity, you led the court to believe that the evidence in the question contained a hitherto undiscovered clue. So I must insist that you elaborate, counsel. You will identify this clue at once. Do I make myself clear?
Oh, yes, my lord. It's, Mr. Naruhodo, I believe the prosecution is trying to avoid an examination of the evidence, which means you may very well be on the right track.
Yes, I think you might be right. So, counsel, precisely where is the vital clue in this case into which this fourth book conceals?
Got it.
I would ask the court to observe the back of the book in question. The back? What do you... Good gracious! It's been burnt to a crisp. So we have to ask ourselves, why was the victim clutching what was clearly an unreadable book? It is undeniably an extremely unnatural thing for her to have been doing.
Objection!
Unnatural, you say? And what of it, my niece friend?
Oh.
Were I to concede the point, if it bears no relation to the case, there is nothing to discuss. So, should you wish to assert that the fire damage is some veiled clue as to what happened that day, pray, do enlighten us all. What truth does this charred book hide? A charred book. There is just one possibility here, which I can't quite bring myself to rule out. It's an outside chance, certainly, but worth a try. Alright, I'll explain my theory. Don't keep us waiting any longer then, counsel. Explain this theory of yours. What are you suggesting that you can ascertain from the fire damage of this its owner? My lord, the burn on the back of this book reveals a startling truth about the book's owner. I beg your pardon?
But we already know who the book belongs to. The victim was gripping it in her hands as she fell to the floor. After all, it's obviously hers.
So she's comatose. She must have gotten hit in the head with the damn book. Was clutching it, and someone plunged a knife in her back? The question of how this book came in the victim's hand has yet to be answered. However, as to the questions of who this book really belongs to and where it originated, the defense has very credible answers. Good gracious, how could you possibly? Very well, I'll play along with this futile attempt to delay your inevitable demise. But do remember, the members of the jury may very well burn you if your little game goes awry. Counsel, the defense's response here is likely to influence the final outcome of this trial. So tell the court, who do you claim to be the owner of this book? This long-faced motherfucker right here. The answer is that this book belongs to the couple who own the house where the defendant has his lodgings. A certain Mr. and Mrs. Garrideb. The landlords. I've never seen that animation of him before. And whether this is some extraordinary coincidence or some kind of fate at work, I don't know, but of all the people in London, one of the 6 chosen for the jury duty in this courtroom today is none other than Mrs. Garrideb herself. Oh my goodness, me? I think you must be mistaken, sir. I think you must be mistaken, sir. I'm not Mr. Garrideb's wife. I'm his maid. Bitch, I'm streaming. Things would be so much easier if you would just drop the pretense. Alright then, how about a simple question for you? Have you ever seen this book in Mr. Garrideb's house? I would never presume to know of all the books he keeps up. This is outlandish behavior. This woman is the accused landlady, you say? You implicate this hard-working member of the public. You besmirch her without a shred of evidence. Your actions are unforgivable. This is not mere conjecture. The defense happens to know that on the day in question, at almost the exact same time as the victim was stabbed on the pavement below, another incident was taking place in the room on the top floor of Mr. and Mr. Garrideb's house. Good lord, what sort of incident, counsel? A fire, my lord. Afraid to say it was. Happened in the blink of an eye, you know. The whole place filled with smoke. Couldn't see a bally thing. Didn't take long for the fire to spread, of course. The bally furniture started going up as well. Worst of it is I lost my favorite book called The Lion's Pride. Oh, he's mad. He is mad. The Lion's Pride. By Jove, the very same title that's the subject of this debate. Oh dear me. This is risible. All you've told the court is that a book by the same name was involved in a fire, in which case it would be reasonable to assume that it was burnt to ashes. And entirely unreasonable to infer that it magically removed itself from the scene of the crime. Perhaps it would make more sense if I told you that the cause of the fire was a marital discord. Without going into details, it appears that Mrs. Garrideb was considerably enraged. Apparently, she continued to attack Mr. Garrideb even amid the flames. Oh, how awful. I can't even imagine being so horrid to the one you love. Can you, Rolly? Absolutely not, sir. My Patricia would never raise a finger against me, sir. Had all my favorite old novels in that case. But as soon as the fire got hold of them, that was it. Whoosh, up in smoke. Then the wife started hurling things at me. She probably pulled one of them things. There I was. There was I, back up against the window under heavy enemy fire. Incendiary. Yeah, whatever. incendiary. The man had his back against the window and he had burning books thrown at him? Goodness gracious, are you suggesting that the book was thrown through a window and landed coincidentally at the scene of the crime? That's the only way that it got down there. No, a thorough investigation of the surrounding area was conducted at the very evening of the incident. And there was no report of the Gyarados window pane being broken. That's quite true. We also saw no sign of broken glass when we visited Gyarados household. But is it not conceivable that the window was open at the time? And not even remotely. Let us not forget the season and the chilling weather that accompanies it. No Londoner would ever leave a window open in the middle of winter. Does the defense postulate this scenario in all seriousness, counsel? Do you earnestly claim that the book was found at the scene as a flaming projectile thrown by Mr. Gyarados' wife? I believe it's a possibility, my lord. That's quite enough. I'm pretty sure it's the maid. Well, I hope that everyone can see you for what you are now, you little foreign trickster. You call yourself a lawyer, but you're just a coward. A mean coward. Really? Claiming that our little tips set the whole neighborhood alight, honestly. Implying that I'm merely posing as a maid for my precious sake. How could you? It's nothing to do with this beastly case, any of it. All you've done is sully our family's name. No, I assure you that was never my intention. Dragging Offstanding Citizen's name through the mud simply to divert attention from your failing defense. I should box your ears. That's what I should do. Is utterly unforgivable. How long have we sat here now listening to this Nipponese spouting out his fancy foreign theories? But think about it. At the end of the day, the only person who could possibly have stabbed the victim is that little hunchback with the mustache, as he ran away from the crime scene too.
I do declare you're right.
It's true. Yes. What did I tell you? Makes sense to me.
Huh? Sorry. What's that?
Not again. Fuck. Appear that the ladies and gentlemen of the jury are once again in full-on agreement. What's your position, Lord Van Zieks? Where'd you get another one? In truth, my lord, I feel these have been unnecessarily protracted proceedings. But one must always exercise patience in order to savor the best vintage. No, wait! The mystery of the fourth book still hasn't been... If books are your predilection, my learned friend, study them on your own time. What? No, forgive the discourtesy this time? You will now state your individual decisions regarding the defendant's culpability for the court to hear. Oh, God.
Guilty. 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 Guilty.
Thank you for that unambiguous response. That's twice now. It's over. Mr. Nodohodo, don't give up. Mr. Sato, have you forgotten? The battle isn't over yet. You're not suggesting. Of course, the defense has the right to another summation examination at this point. You could still convince the jurors to change their minds. You have one more chance. My lord, the defense asks to exercise its right to summation examination. You believe you still have tricks up your sleeve? I don't intend to trick anybody. I intend to uncover the truth. This is no time to be downcast. As long as there's a chance, I have to stay strong and determined. Alright, I think I'm gonna end it there. How long have I been streaming? 3 hours, yeah, I'll end it here. I'm probably gonna go to the gym. Thank you to those who came out and sat in the stream and commented and, you know, stuck around. It meant a lot. I'm glad that I got through so much more of Ace Attorney this time. Uh, this case is going a little bit easier than I thought it would. It's kind of just like a back and forth pull. I know every case is like that, but this one is more like a back and forth pull, and I'm just kind of like realizing where stuff is kind of falling into place. I don't know exactly how it's going to go out from here because it doesn't really feel like there's much else that we can really pull up right now, but I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure if there's a will, there's a way, and as soon as we point it out, hopefully the maid will like reveal herself, or like Mr. Garadeb can like be a witness or something, and maybe he can like declare his love and, you know, clear up this misunderstanding or something. Um, but I don't know. As of right now, I'm just kind of waiting to see where this trial is going to go, and when I come back next, I guess we'll knock out the rest of it. Anyways, thanks so much again for everybody who came out to watch the stream. I'm gonna go eat something and get buff at the gym. Thank you guys so much for coming by.